Hello, I'm Dean Karstens and welcome to my channel, Dean's N-Scale Trains. Today I'm back working on my L-shaped layout, the Santa Fe Northern, and I'm going to be talking about servo switch machines. As many of my channel subscribers know, I have spent a lot of time lately trying to find a better way to activate my switches remotely rather than using the available snap switch machines that tend to be too weak to push a slightly sticky switch. I finally developed something that works very well based on servo motors. I should note that in the US, the correct term for the mechanical installation that lets a train move from one track to another is a switch, and I'll continue to use that term in my discussions. Some people in the US refer to them as turnouts, and in overseas countries such as Great Britain, they are called points. Go figure. Servos make great switch machines since they are strong, repeatable, very inexpensive, and easy to attach to your switches. I have set up a playlist on my series of videos showing how you can use servos on your layout, and have listed a reference to this playlist in the discussion below. In one of my earlier videos, I showed you a very complicated circuit based on the popular Arduino Uno that controls the 13 switches on my N-scale layout, the Santa Fe Northern. It works, but the circuit and associated software were both complicated, and several watchers thought the system was too much. So today I'm going to show you a simple single-channel servo controller that powers one switch on my layout, and that is built around an Arduino Nano microcontroller. I'm also going to show you how you can download the software to run this circuit so that you don't need to learn to be a computer programmer. In a future video, I'm going to expand this into a 4-channel controller that runs 4 switch machines, complete with indicator lights, which is based on this simpler 1-channel version. So let's jump right into this. This was the first prototype I built. As you can see, it's in a project box that I printed out on my 3D printer, and I labeled it with a Silhouette Studio program. As you can see, everything is soldered together. As you can see, the Arduino sits on a multi-pin connector such as this, and it's soldered directly to a printed circuit board. I'll discuss the wires in the next circuit. So let's see this in action. As you can see, the indicator lights follows the position of the toggle switch. And here you can see the operation of the servo and the switch. After building the first prototype with all soldered connections, I found a major problem with the circuit. After a few cycles, the microprocessor was locked up. Going to AI, I found that this is a common problem when you try to power a servo from the same power supply that powers the microprocessor. When the servo operates, it uses an amp or two of power, and this leads to spikes in the voltage, which causes the software to glitch, leading to a lockup. The solution was to add a second 5-volt power supply to power the servo only. This worked. There are 3 ways to power an Arduino Nano. The first is through the USB port, which supplies 5 volts, plus allows you to program it if you need to. The second is through this 5-volt pin 27. If you put a regulated supply between here and ground, you can power it that way. And finally, you can use a higher supply voltage, something on the order of 7 to 12 volts. It says 10 here, but that's wrong. Applying it to pin 30 and the ground. I use that method for my circuit. So here's the final circuit diagram that I used. You've got the Arduino Nano. It's powered with a 12-volt power adapter, plug-in power adapter. Here's the ground lead. Goes to the ground pin. 12 volts goes to the VIN pin. And the 5 volts off of this pin goes here. When the switch is in this position, this is at 5 volts, so the green LED is lit. When it's thrown over here, the center part of the toggle switch is at 0 volts. So this is 0, this is 5 volts, the red one is lit. So it tells which position this toggle switch is in, and also takes that voltage to pin D2. Pin D3 powers the servo, which is powered with a separate 5-volt power supply here. At this point, I was looking for a simpler way to put together the circuit rather than soldering everything onto a circuit board. I recently found this nice little kit on Amazon. It's from Lonely Binary, a company that sells electronic parts. It has a nice little programming cheat sheet for the Arduino and some hints on using a Nano. It has 3 boards. This one uses squeeze type terminals. You push it down and put the wire in and let it go. As you can see, it fits the Nano. This one has screw terminals, and this one has connector posts for using connector wires. It comes with 3 Nanos and a charging cable, all for 20 bucks, which I thought was pretty remarkable. You can use one of these and cut down on your difficult soldering. To connect it, I glued with super glue a piece of balsa wood to offset the soldered connections down here, and then I'm going to glue it here. Next, I tried putting together a version using jumper cables and the pin connectors. Actually, I put this all together and it worked fine, except I was worried that these jumper cables might tend to loosen up during operation, causing problems in the future. In the next section of this video, I'm going to show you the software code I developed to run this simple one-channel servo actuator. I connected to one of my switches in the Santa Fe Northern layout. The Arduino system of software and hardware was initially set up by an artist, thus he referred to the software program as a sketch. However, I will use the more conventional term program. If you are an experienced Arduino programmer, loading my program into an Arduino Nano microcontroller should be easy and straightforward for you. If you are new to Arduino, I recommend reviewing the documentation at arduino.cc to learn how to enter, load, and run an Arduino program. I've also discussed the procedure in one of my earlier videos, but don't worry about the need to master the C programming language, which is used in the Arduino, as you should be able to use the software I provide here without changes if you follow the same wiring to data ports that I have described in the discussion of the Nano-based hardware I showed here. I will provide a link for downloading the software in the discussion section below, and will try to answer any questions you might have if you are working on duplicating my controller. Here's the program. It's a fairly simple one, as you can see. If you know something about Arduino programming, you can go through this and figure it out. If you don't want to mess around with the programming, just load this program into your system, into your Arduino Nano, and run it. I'll provide a reference to how you can download this in the notes below. But I'm not going to go through how this works. And here's how you determine the values of the numbers to put in for the 2 positions of the switch, either straight or curved. I plugged in this tester, the servo consistency tester that I've talked about before. I've plugged that directly into the wiring for the servo. Before you connect the servo linkage to your switch, place the switch in a central position and also turn the potentiometer control on the servo tester to a central position. Then connect the mechanical linkage to the switch and proceed. See some previous videos in this series for more instructions on how to do this. And now I can vary that. You want it so it just touches but doesn't push the switch too far. Something right around 1700. For the straight position, it's right around 1900. I've zoomed in on this so you can see it better. right around 1700, and right around 1900 are the values. The important part of the software that you will have to change is right here. This defines the two numbers that I got when I tuned the switch. The servo low defines the straight position. It's around, as I said, around 1700. The servo high was for the curve position. That's around 1900. This will be different for your system. So you will have to change these two numbers depending on what you determine. If you have any interest in finding out how this software works, put a little note in the comments below, and if there is interest, I will do a separate video discussing how the software works. So here's the final circuit. The switch and the two resistors going to the LEDs and the wires to the LEDs. You can see how I did it here. This orange wire goes to the D3 input. The black wire goes to the ground. Red wire to 5 volts. These two wires come in to power the Nano. The plus 12 volts goes to V in, and the ground goes to the ground lead. The servo, the output to the servo, the signal to the servo goes to pin D3, and it's powered from these two wires, which come in from a separate 5-volt system. As I said at the start of this video, I had problems where the Nano would freak out and stop working after 3 or 4 cycles. As you can see, it just keeps on going. So that's it for this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, Dean's N-Scale Trains. Put in your comments with questions if you'd like to try building this, and also get a better understanding of the software. Put a comment to that effect. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.